Have you ever looked at a satellite map at night and seen those long streaks of light? Those are not actually single cities, but they're more complicated than that. A very small share of Earth's land produces much of the world's economic output. Today, we are exploring megaregions and how a few connected urban corridors power the global economy. A megaregion is not just a city, but a chain of cities that are strung together, both physically and economically, so that they begin to function like one giant system. People commute across these large metro regions, businesses treat them as one labor market, and ideas are spread quickly through them. You may have heard of names like BosWash, ChiPitts, the Pearl River Delta, the Tokaido Belt, or Europe's Blue Banana. These are not just regions on a map, but mega-regions that hold vast economic output. So why are there so many mega-regions dominating the global economy? There are several reasons that economists have studied for decades. The first one is agglomeration economies. When companies cluster together, ideas spread faster, hiring becomes easier, and innovation accelerates. The second one is urbanization economies. When different industries are close together, such as in tech, finance, education, and healthcare, they benefit from each other's strengths, and new ideas form between companies, making them quicker. Third, connectivity plays a major role. High-speed rail, port networks, airports, and dense roads, as well as strong digital infrastructure, shrink the distance between cities. In human geography, this is known as time-space compression, when over time, as technology has developed, it seems like it takes less time to cover vast distances because of the internet. Finally, early advantages begin to snowball. Once a region gains early strengths in education, industry, or transportation, future investment is built upon those foundations. Economists call this path dependence. Now let's look at a few examples, starting with BosWash, the long corridor from Boston to Washington, D.C. along the east coast of the U.S. More than 55 million people live in this region, including cities like Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. Boston is known for their biotech and higher education. New York for finance and media. Philadelphia contributes strong universities like UPenn and healthcare. Washington, D.C. anchors the government and defense technology industry. These cities are linked by the busiest passenger rail line in the U.S., mainly serviced by Amtrak. It is the world's largest megalopolis by economic output. Next is ChiPitts, which stretches from Chicago to Pittsburgh in the Midwest of the U.S. This includes cities like Detroit, Columbus, Cleveland, and South Bend, along with Chicago and Pittsburgh. Historically, this region was the industrial core of the U.S., including steel, automaking, heavy machinery, and shipping. After the founding of NAFTA in 1994 and free trade across the world, many of these manufacturing jobs left the U.S. as companies searched for lower wages to lower their input costs. While this did contribute to a significant decline of major cities like Detroit, the cities are reinventing themselves. Detroit is developing electrical vehicle and mobility technology, and Chicago is now a key logistics hub in the Midwest. Pittsburgh is a center for robotics and artificial intelligence, as well as Carnegie Mellon University. ChiPitts is a region that continues to evolve instead of falling into decline. Next is the Pearl River Delta in southern China, which includes cities like Guangzhou and Shenzhen and Hong Kong, as well as Macau and several other connected cities. Around 70 million people live here. In the late 20th century, it became the factory of the world, and over time, it is now a global center for innovation as well. Shenzhen alone is home to leading technology companies like Huawei and Tencent. It is now one of the most important electronics and manufacturing hubs on the planet. Japan contains another major megaregion known as the Tokaido Belt. This runs from Tokyo south through Yokohama, Nagoya, Kyoto, Osaka, and Kobe. Nearly 100 million people live along this corridor. It supports major companies in robotics, automobiles, electronics, and advanced manufacturing, all connected by an incredibly efficient rail network. Finally, Europe has a megaregion called the Blue Banana. It begins in northwest England and travels through London, Brussels, the Rhine and Ruhr River valleys in western Germany, Switzerland, and down to Milan in Italy. This corridor holds many of Europe's top financial centers, research hubs, and manufacturing zones. It operates like a unified economic heartland, especially because all of these countries are in the Schengen area, so transport across borders is easy. Megaregions have real effects on life in the world. They influence living standards and innovation and attract talent, capital, and international investment. Megaregions also concentrate a lot of high-skilled people in dense areas, which can widen the gap between major regions and more isolated or rural ones. This is known as a brain drain looking internationally, when highly skilled people from poorer countries migrate to richer countries like the US and Europe for better opportunities. This leaves fewer skilled people in the home countries to build industry or innovate there. This is one of the reasons why there is such a large divide between the rich countries and the poorer countries. There are challenges within megaregions though. Housing shortages, long commutes, infrastructure strain, and exposure to climate risks are all problems that have grown as these corridors expand. So the next time you're looking at a glowing night map, remember that you're seeing the outlines of innovation in megaregions. The major question for the future is simple. Which megaregions will rise next and keep innovating, and which ones will fade?